In this section, we will discuss tools inside the debugging pane. We will talk about watch, call stack and scope used for debugging. The category is debugging techniques and there will be two relative questions for this topic. The sources panel UI has three parts. So this is the file navigation pane that profiles every file that the page requests. The second is the code editor pane. The contents of the selected files are displayed here. And the third one is called the debugging pane that provides various tools for inspecting and debugging JavaScript code, which we are going to discuss here. So let us practically understand the debugging pane tools. This code having two input fields performs addition of two numbers on the button click. Let me give the values and click on this button. As you can see, it produces the wrong output. In fact, it did not add the values. To find out the bug, we need to debug this. Developer tool provides the feature to watch multiple variables and expressions throughout your code. The watch tool here lets you do this. To add the variable or expression you want to monitor, click on this add icon. I will say N1 and press enter. Let me expand this tree. Here it will list out all the information related to this variable like ID, read only, tag name, value, children nodes and all other CSS and JavaScript applied to it. This is helpful for different development aspects. You can also check or evaluate the variable value to inspect the modification. Let me put a breakpoint here and click on the button. Let me change the value of N1 to 8, then press enter. And here the result changes. If the variable does not exist, then it will show not available message. This refresh icon is used to update variables when their values evaluate as it continues to run. Every watched item gets updated with the current value. Click here to remove the added variables. When the debugger is paused on a line of code, this scope pane shows the local and global scope of current values of the variables defined. Let me put a breakpoint here and click on the button. Observe here in the scope pane, it shows the block scope, local and global scope of the variables and their current values. This also shows the closure variables, if any, whenever applicable. To edit any variable value, double-click on it. The scope pane will be empty in case the debugger is not paused on a line of code. There are many functions in a program that perform different tasks when they are called. To monitor that, on which function call, what action takes place, you can use the call stack pane. Call stack can be seen as a data structure that provides information about the current subroutine or function of the program being debugged. Let me click on this button. As you can see, it displays that the sum function is called when the onClick event is fired. It displays the stack of all the functions called and currently executing. Using this stack of data when the debugging is performed, it is termed as stack tracing. Let us discuss relative questions. The first question is, how does the watch tool help in debugging? As we discussed, the watch tool helps in monitoring multiple variables and expressions throughout the code. You can check values and all other information provided by it for the current and additional variables, along with inspecting the changes as the program continues to run. The second question is, what is stack trace? A stack trace works on the call stack, which shows a stack of functions and subroutines currently under execution. Developers and software experts define it as a list of subroutine calls that are performed at the time of execution. The stack, that is, the call stack, is used to analyze contents of each subroutine and how they run.